Today we're going to be covering the new Tyrannomon build for BT11. What Tyrannomon is pretty good at is building a really strong body on your turn, being able to swing over your opponent's Digimon, suspended or unsuspended, and it'll be able to get piercing and damage increase all throughout the evolution lineup. Let's go ahead and get started. For our level 2s, we're going to be running 4 of the Phenomons. This one has a when attacking once per turn. If you attack an opponent's Digimon, trigger draw 1. This is going to be happening a lot with Tyrannomon, considering how you're going to be getting a lot of damage increase through your level 3s and through your level 4s. So Phenomon works well for that. For our next egg, we're going to be running 1 Tamers for BT11. This one says your turn once per turn. When you play a green Tamer, draw 1 card. And this is going to be happening a lot through the effects of your Tyrannomons to being able to play Tamers for free. So Tamers will show up a lot. Moving on to the level 3s, we're going to be running a playset of the new BT11 Agumon. This is some Tyrannomon support here, where it says on play, reveal top 4 cards of your deck, add 1 Tamer card among them to your hand, place the remaining at the bottom. This card is intended to search for your Taigas, because your Taigas are going to be able to play for free on the next evolution lineup in the level 4s. It also has a really nice inheritable. While you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP. Solid card for being able to get a really strong body, and once you get into that level 6, you should be able to be swinging over everything. Next, we're going to be running a 4 of Palmon. This is from the starter deck 4. This one has a really good inheritable for the reason that it's not once per turn. So it says when attacking, if you attack an opponent's Digimon, this Digimon gets plus 2000 DP for the turn. So it's very similar to the Agumon inheritable where you can get 2000, but it's almost a little bit better if you're swinging over another Digimon, because what you'll notice is you'll be able to swing and unsuspend and then swing again with that same Digimon, giving that Palmon a plus 4000 increase, which can be crazy if you're hitting some big bodies or checking security to protect you. Next, for our level 3 lineup, we're going to be running 3 Tyrannomons. The reason why we're running 3 Tyrannomon is because it serves as a memory blocker. There's going to be a lot of ways to gain memory from Digimon in this meta, so having more memory blockers should come in handy in this battle. And lastly, for our level 3 lineup is a BT10 Kakuamon. It has an inheritable saying your turn once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent in battle, gain 1 memory. So in case you need to get some gain memory mechanic in there, Kakuamon is a good card for that. Next, we're going to be talking about the level 4 lineup. Starting with our playsets, we're running a playset of the EX1 Tyrannomon. It can evo off of green or red for 2, and it has a really cool when digivolving effect. If you don't have a Taiga in play, you may play one from your hand without paying its memory cost. And inheritable effect, while this Digimon has Tyrannomon in its name, it gets plus 2000 DP. Next, we're going to be talking about the playset of Tyrannomons from BT11. This one is a 3 evo, so it's a little bit more expensive to evolve, but it has a nice on play or when digivolving effect. You may play 1 Tamer card with a play cost of 3 or less from your hand without paying its memory cost. The inheritable is very similar to the EX1 Tyrannomon. While you have a Tamer in play, this Digimon gets plus 2000. Next, we're going to be talking about a 1 of Arbomon for game. Next, we're also going to be running, which is kind of a surprise, 1 Rapidmon. Rapidmon evolves 3 off of a Terriermon, 4 off of any other green Digimon. It's got Armor Purge, and this is good for the reason that it can suspend one of your opponent's Digimon for each Tamer you have in play. So this deck is going to be using a lot of Tamers, so you should be able to suspend the entire board in a good situation. And then up to 3 of your opponent's suspended Digimon get minus 5000 DP. It's kind of used as a surprise card, which potentially can catch your opponent off guard here. Now we're going to be moving on to the level 5 lineup. We're going to be running 4 of the Master Tyrannomons. It gives you Sec plus 1 when you need to get Sec plus 1, and it has a Sec plus 1 built in on top of it, being at 8k DP. If you were to get a 4000 buff with the level 4 and the level 3 on this thing, you can potentially make it a 12k beater up. And with a Tamer card Taiga from this build, you can potentially give it piercing or an extra DP buff, which is going to be strong for Master Tyranno. So he serves a really nice spot in the level 5 lineup. And then the next level 5 lineup we're going to be running is 4 of the Metal Tyrannomon for BT11. All turns once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent in battle, you can trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. Like I said before in other videos, trashing your opponent's security stack is the strongest thing I feel you can do in Digimon. It's so effective. And then the on play when Digivolving effect reads, for each green and or black tamer you have in play, suspend one of your opponent's Digimon. Then one of your opponent's suspended Digimon cannot unsuspend during their unsuspend phase on their next turn. That is going to be a good way to stun your opponent, keep them from being aggro. And just like Master Tyrannomon, it can get there in DP, which is also very strong for the level 5s. Moving on to the level 6 lineup, we're going to be talking about the BT11 Rust Tyrannomon. This is the new boss monster here. It is a playset that we're running. It's a 5 Evo, but here's how you can reduce its evolution cost. When one of your Digimon would Digivolve into this card, for each green and or black tamer you have in play, reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So if you have 2 Taigas, this can be a 3 Evo. If you have 3 Taigas, you can have a 2 Evo on this card, and it's 13k DP naturally. With a 4k buff, you can make it 17k. This Digimon is pretty much going to swing over a whole bunch of stuff. This says all turns once per turn. When this Digimon deletes an opponent's Digimon in battle, unsuspend this Digimon. Being able to unsuspend is strong in this deck, especially if you get that Sec +1 Master Tyrannomon underneath and you're swinging with piercing. Rust Tyrannomon can be a really strong body for your opponent to have to deal with. Next on our level 6 lineup, we're running 2 of the Rust Tyrannomon. When you have a green tamer in play, this Digimon can attack your opponent's unsuspended Digimon. This is a nice little tech card for the reason that your opponent might be thinking they're safe when they're unsuspended, but this Rust Tyrannomon will make sure that they do end up getting attacked. And if you have the piercing Taiga, you can even hit into the security, which is very strong. So 2 of the Rust Tyrannomon for BT2 is also really strong. And lastly, for our Digimon cards, we're going to be running the 1 of Death Xmon. This Digimon is also serving as a black card, similar to Rust Tyrannomon for BT11, so you can use this to Evo off of Rust Tyrannomon if you ever get into that situation where you need to, or you can just use it for the on-play effect where you can reduce its play cost, because as you know, in this format, BT11, Tamers are going to be pretty relevant, and so Death Xmon kind of serves as a spot to becoming a cheap on-play card in case your opponent is not playing play cost blockers. Next, we're going to be moving on to the Tamers. We're going to be running 3 of the Taigas from BT2. This one says, all of your Digimon with Tyrannomon in their names gain piercing. This is what makes Tyrannomon very strong. Being able to get piercing with all that extra DP is going to make sure you do a lot of board control and protection, and being able to swing at security, which is kind of getting the best of both worlds right there. Also, it says your turn. When Digivolving one of your Digimon into a Digimon card with Tyrannomon in its name, you can suspend this tamer to reduce the memory Digivolution cost by 1. So this kind of helps you out with your level 5s being so expensive as 4 Evos. If you already have this Taiga in play, you can make those become cheaper Evos, which is why we're running a 3 of for the Taiga. Next, we're also running a 3 of the Taiga from BT11. This one gives you a 1000 buff increase on all of your Digimon on your turn, and it also says when one of your green Digimon would Digivolve into a level 5 or higher Digimon card, you can suspend this tamer to reduce the Digivolution cost by 1. So all these Taigas in our decks are working towards reducing the Digivolution cost, potentially making these very cheap Evos and getting into your stack a lot faster. Next, we're going to be running 2 of the Mimi Tachikawa. Mimi is basically your memory setter, 2 to 3. I think it's important to always have a memory setter. And also, she's really good for the main effect. If you have a level 5 or higher green Digimon in play already, you can suspend Mimi to hatch your egg or move one of your level 3 or higher Digimon from your breeding area onto the battle area. This is just to help to continue being aggressive, and Mimi is a solid card even today in BT11. Moving on to the option cards, we're going to be running 2 of the green memory boost. This is going to help you search for cards that you're still looking for. Being able to gain 2 memory on your turn with the delay effect is also very strong. Then we're going to be running 2 of the Ground Fang. This is a main return one of your opponent's suspended Digimon and one of their suspended Tamers to the bottom of the deck. This card works really well for Rust Tyrannomon for the reason that you can suspend your opponent's Digimon through the Rust Tyrannomon effect or in other ways, such as the level 5 Tyrannomon that we talked about earlier. And you're going to notice that in this format in BT11, there's going to be a lot of suspended Tamers going on your opponent's side of the field. So Ground Fang being able to bottom deck both a suspended Digimon and a Tamer is really effective. And then lastly for our build is going to be 1 hidden potential discovered. This is the maximum that you can play per deck, and it's just a really good way to make sure that you get a free evolution in case you need to. And that's going to be it for the deck profile. Let me know your thoughts on the build and how you would build differently. Feedback is always welcome, as that makes us all better players at the end of the day. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to making new BT11 content with you all in the future. I will see you guys in the next video. Take care, you guys.